If you want to be more efficient and effective while running your business with more inner peace than working on the core of your issues instead of putting on a band-aid is vital. Welcome to the Business Brain Podcast.
I'm your host, Esty Rapport, and here to help you improve your 28 cognitive functions, the 28 things that make up thinking. In each episode, we'll discuss a real-life challenge, why you might be struggling with it, and give you practical strategies so all areas of your life will improve.
When Daniela joined our 90-day program, Optimize Your Brain, she already had a successful business that's been up and running for 5 years. The problem was Daniela had the tendency to leave everything to the last minute. Whether it was small tasks like Amazon returns or big projects like writing email sequences, if the deadline wasn't just around the corner, she wasn't doing it. This tendency caused a lot of stress as the task still lingered in her mind, even if she was putting it off. Despite struggling with procrastination in so many areas, by the end of the program, Danielle drastically reduced procrastination and was able to identify the reason why she was procrastinating as soon as it would come up. If you're experiencing something similar, I'm here to tell you, you do not have to struggle forever. In this episode 443 of the Business Brain Podcast, I'm going to share with you the exact steps of what you can do to have your own transformation. But first, are you an entrepreneur with ADHD? Would you like to learn how to leverage your superpowers and optimize your ADHD so running your business is easier? If yes, you may just be the perfect fit for Optimize Your ADHD Brain. Learn more and apply at lifefixuniversity.com/OYB. While you are doing any task, you, without even realizing it, are using your 28 thinking skills. When the thinking skills you need to use are strong, doing the task is easy. If the thinking skills you need to use is weak, doing the task will be a challenge. The struggle Daniela had came from many weak thinking skills, including clear perception, working memory, categorizations, and more. Your brain is wired for survival and doesn't want to work hard. If the task is challenging, you'll find yourself procrastinating on it. You want to understand why you are struggling with this task so that way you know what you need to work on. With Daniela, I had her ask herself anytime she was procrastinating, what part of this task is a challenge? Because there are many micro parts to doing every task. And as soon as one part is challenging, we tend to just say the whole task is challenging and procrastinating on it. So once she identified the specific part of the task that was a challenge, she'd create 2 strategies. Number 1, a short-term strategy to get through the task right now. This often looks like finding a way to make it fun or easier. And number 2, a long-term strategy. So the task is no longer a challenge. This is often related to a thinking skill. For example, if she was procrastinating on writing an email sequence, she'd first ask herself, what part of this task is a challenge? In Danielle's case, it was organizing all her thoughts and putting them in order that would be the most beneficial for the reader and, of course, bring in the most money. So she came up with 2 strategies. Number 1, a short-term strategy. For right now, she'll just dump everything out and get it out of her head. And once it's all out, she'll use color-coded index cards to help her plan and place the order. That way she could move the index cards before and after and see what makes the most sense to go where. And number 2, she created a long-term strategy. So that way it's no longer a challenge in the future. Seeing the big picture and understanding what makes the most sense to go with what comes from the thinking skill of categorization. So together in the cohort and Optimize Your Brain, we did specific exercises that improved the thinking skills of categorization. So that way putting information in order was easy for Danielle. There's actually quite a few episodes and videos on YouTube for you to do exercises so that way you can improve this thinking skill too. It's important to know I wasn't there every time Danielle was procrastinating. I wanted her to be able to figure out what to do in the moment she finds herself procrastinating. All I did was help her brain be able to identify the procrastination the minute it starts creeping in and come up with short-term and long-term strategies on her own. You can do the same. The moment you've noticed yourself procrastinating, stop and think, what can I do right now to make it easier? And what can I do so that way it's no longer a challenge in the future? Midway through the program, Daniela shared with me, I'm noticing before I do things, what's stopping me? What is making it challenging for me to do this task? I want you to be able to notice that too. So that way you can also solve the root cause of procrastination. Your challenge this week is to catch yourself procrastinating and ask yourself, what part of this task is a challenge? Then you want to come up with two strategies, a short-term strategy to get it done right now and a long-term strategy so it is no longer a challenge. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye for now.
That's all for this episode of the Business Brain Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please share it with 2 of your business friends so they too can gain from it, and you'll be helping us reach our goal of 1 million downloads by the end of 2025. Cheers to peak brain performance.